Many criticisms have emerged these days, directed at Vasseur, directed at the entire Ferrari team, and we talk about it in today's video. We need to see why Vasseur's time at Ferrari is limited, and the 2026 project will be crucial for confirming his renewal, because we all know that without the new regulations, we probably wouldn't see Vasseur at Ferrari anymore, as he would have already failed this year. And of course, we also needed to talk about the new Ferrari for 2026. There are some updates. In fact, I'll start right away with this breaking news. Ferrari has passed the crash tests conducted in Bolate on the first try, and so the Ferrari chassis has been confirmed for the next season. This is good news, because we know that in the past, several teams have failed on their first attempt to pass the crash test, which means redoing the chassis, stiffening materials, and that's never good when trying to reduce the weight of the car. But in this case, Ferrari passed the crash tests, so this is excellent news. But now we need to talk about the criticisms directed at Ferrari in 2025. Because yes, this is good news, but we must consider everything else. We also need to talk about the Abu Dhabi race, because some people think that Ferrari and Mercedes might be allies of Max Verstappen. Some also think that McLaren itself is in a very difficult situation, having both drivers to defend in the title fight. In today's video, we'll look at all of this together. Before we start, of course, I remind you to leave a like, which is essential to support my project. Subscribe and activate notifications so you don't miss any videos on Formula 1 and Ferrari. I sincerely thank you for all the comments. I try to respond to everyone, and I also thank you for starting new discussions in the comments, which are super interesting. So thank you very much. Having said that, let's look at all the topics together. First, let's start with the criticisms. Terruzzi said, "The only positive thing about Vasseur is that he has stopped laughing. Now he says they stopped developing the car in April. Who does he think he's dealing with? At every race, they said they would bring developments, and now they come out and say they finished developing the car in April. Is it really possible that a team like Ferrari cannot work on two cars simultaneously?" Enough, since no one here gets angry, I'll get angry. However, I agree with the fact that Ferrari made proclamations at the start of the season to fully develop the Ferrari SF25 to go even stronger and continue development throughout the season. Then it's also true that developments were abandoned, but we all remember the rear suspension that arrived at Spa-Francorchamps, tested first at Mugello, and that was still part of the developments. The developments that came later were abandoned. So I think, for example, there was supposed to be a new floor for the last races, obviously from after the summer break onwards. That was shelved precisely because the Ferrari wasn't a good car. But saying that updates were shelved is not an excuse. It's an aggravating factor. And I repeat this in the sense that if the car had been competitive, they obviously would have brought updates. Since the car was a wreck, the Ferrari SF05 wasn't fast, so they decided to stop bringing updates. I mean, this is the reality. Let's say it clearly. The other teams continued to develop because the car was good. Red Bull saw that McLaren was vulnerable anyway and continued to develop the car until the end of the season, and the results proved them right. Because in the end, we see Max fighting for the title until the last race. Red Bull's choice paid off. McLaren is the only team that could afford to abandon updates earlier because they seem to have a huge advantage over opponents, especially before the summer break. And yet we saw that even they suffered from this decision, and perhaps in hindsight, they did not make the right decision to abandon updates so early. And so we also need to say that Ferrari made this decision reluctantly because the 2025 Ferrari wasn't working, and this needs to be emphasized. I am very worried about Ferrari's future. Claiming that development was halted in favor of the next season seems like a very weak excuse. All teams worked on two cars this year. Ferrari's attitude is an embarrassing attempt to hide this failure, and I agree with Jean Alesi on this. In short, according to Jean Alesi, saying we're focusing on next year is an excuse. Ferrari's attitude is an embarrassing attempt to hide this failure. So, according to him, Ferrari is hiding this year's season failure by saying we're focusing on the next year. And that's what happens almost every year at Ferrari. It seems like there's always an excuse to focus on the next year. Let's also hear what Alesi said about Ferrari. Then there's Ferrari, which managed to secure 4th place in the Constructors' Championship, while a year ago it came second, 14 points behind McLaren. An incredible fall that recalls old nightmares and requires a round table with someone at the top to draw conclusions. We started with great fanfare, announcing achievements and promising both the drivers and teams titles. It's up to Vasseur and the management, who spread exaggerated optimism while the cars were stationary, to explain why the miracle didn't happen. We now need to prevent this disaster from spreading to the 2026 season, planned by the same working group. Leclerc and Hamilton find themselves in the middle, both protagonists and witnesses to a collapse that was unimaginable. On one hand, Charles's boundless courage, the desire to succeed, his commitment. On the other, the weight of Lewis's 7 world titles, his vast experience and disbelief at a failed endeavor. Will someone be able to explain to them at least what happened? How can one disagree? And I absolutely agree with this statement. These words from Pino Allievi, because it highlights Ferrari's problems. Ferrari lacks a precise direction, lacks a man to take power, in my opinion, within the team, and Vasseur is too weak in this regard. He can't manage the different dynamics happening within Ferrari, and that's why we see the team's failure every year. Every year they think about the next year. In 2024, they thought of revolutionizing the car in 2025 to return to fighting for the title after finishing second last year, which at the beginning of the year was considered more of a failure. At the start of 2024, then over the course of the season, just like last year, Ferrari improved. And so it was thought that this year could be the confirmation with Hamilton joining the team. Vasseur and the team principal, who only deserve to be guests at the Christmas lunch. How can they talk about development being halted in April when for half the season they told a completely different story? Who do they think they're fooling? And this is a statement from Vasseur. Worked hard to bring new updates to Spa. Every cut makes a difference. We must maximize the potential. Maximizing potential has become the mantra of this season. We heard it every race, obviously without seeing the car's potential. And obviously it makes one think of Lewis Hamilton, because he left Mercedes last year, with which he made history and embraced Ferrari's project, which at the end of 2024 was fighting for the Constructors' Championship, then came second, but not by much, and then found himself with a completely undrivable car in this regulatory era in 2025. It was a complete disaster because Hamilton's expectations were very high. The expectations created by Maranello were very high. That was the main problem. And we saw that Sainz indeed made a podium with Williams before Hamilton in Ferrari. And who would have ever said something like that at the beginning of the season? Actually, not just one. Carlos Sainz has made 2 podiums this season. Let's not forget that. So this is really embarrassing for Ferrari, a team like Williams that has truly experienced an endless crisis in these years. This year, they have recovered a lot, made excellent decisions both from the driver's perspective and development-wise, in my opinion. James Vowles is an excellent team principal. Indeed, he is from the Mercedes school. He is one of Toto Wolff's pupils, if we want. I'll also show you this post from Dr. Hobbs that says, in 2024, Ferrari achieved a double podium, second and third position. 2023, Leclerc came second. 2022, Leclerc came second and Sainz fourth. So in this regulatory era, Ferrari has made 4 podiums in Abu Dhabi, and therefore, yes, historically, Ferrari has been good in Abu Dhabi in its final results. Max needs someone to finish on the podium, so he has the chance to win the title. And who could make it to the podium? Well, Ferrari could get there. But Giacomo also rightly points out that historically Ferrari has been good here, but has never won in Abu Dhabi. And that's true. Ferrari has never won in Abu Dhabi, but has reached the podium in the last decent races, if you will, of this regulatory cycle. Hannah Schmidt said, I think they find themselves in a very difficult situation, referring to McLaren, where it is evident that they want to treat the drivers fairly. And I believe we are in a position to take advantage of that. In fact, Hannah Schmidt speaks of papaya advantage, meaning an advantage that Red Bull can, let's say, take at the expense of McLaren, which must treat its drivers equally. And this is true because if we want in Qatar, if they had favored Norris over Piastri, the championship would have been closed. McLaren would have already won the driver's title with Norris, but they decided to treat them equally and not bring either of them into the pits in the first stop, and this was costly because now the championship is open, Max can win it, and so if they apply the same philosophy, the same strategy, if we want, of driver management in Abu Dhabi as well, then McLaren is playing for the title. This is certain, and they are risking a lot. They risk more than favoring one of the two who can probably be Norris, who is ahead in the driver's championship. In that case, they would risk less, but would have an internal split within the team. In fact, she said, The first element to focus on from the team's perspective, I would say, is to ensure we are fit, prepared, and determined to have a perfect race weekend. Since the car has maintained the pace, the drivers are doing an exceptional job, but in the last 2 races, from the team's perspective, we haven't been able to capitalize on the good work of the drivers and the potential we have in the car. Considering that we have 2 drivers vying for the world title, our philosophy and approach will not change. We will give both Oscar and Lando the opportunity to compete and pursue their aspirations. Attention. And these statements ahead of Abu Dhabi, in my opinion, are worrying for McLaren, because if they let both drivers fight for the title, in my opinion, Max has more chances of winning the title in this case, if they don't even give team orders, in the sense that maybe Piastri lets Norris pass or other such scenarios, then in that case, 4th place for Norris is really feasible, because it's enough for a Mercedes, a Ferrari and Piastri not to let Norris pass, and there are already 3 drivers they can get between Max and Norris. And so it's enough for Max to win the race, which in my opinion, Abu Dhabi is a track that might suit Red Bull's characteristics better than Qatar. So we could see a Red Bull more favored in Abu Dhabi. It's enough for Max to win the race and Norris to come 4th, and Max is champion. So beware that the World Championship is not over yet. They will all play it out in the last race. In my opinion, Piastri is the one who has a bit fewer chances among the 3. Then there's Max, and then obviously Norris is the number 1 favorite. If they continue with this philosophy, in my opinion, it is not the right choice, I told you. But he says they will continue to keep both drivers in the fight for the World Championship and want to maintain this fair attitude between the drivers. He started here from 19th place. And in the first lap, he made a lot of overtakes, even reaching 8th in 1 lap, which is really sensational apart from Leclerc. And this is what Charles Leclerc did last year by recovering 11 positions at the start in Abu Dhabi. So beware, if Ferrari regains form in Abu Dhabi, we could see it up front. What Max has shown this year reminded me of some magic moments from Michael Schumacher in 1998 and Ayrton Senna in 1993, sustaining a world championship that without their presence would have been sealed a long time ago. Phenomena. And I agree, because Max really made a difference this year on the car, and also in recovering on McLaren, which seemed impossible. The disqualification in Las Vegas certainly helped, as did Norris's retirement in the Netherlands, but I must say Max never gave up. When the car was there, he always tried to recover on McLaren and maximize the potential, something that McLaren drivers didn't do. They wasted many opportunities. Seeing the characteristics of the track, it's a medium load track, abrasion is not too high, and so Max also has chances to win, in my opinion, having a new power unit, being able to go faster, having a car with more updates compared to a McLaren. And we know McLaren fit very well with the Qatar track, while Abu Dhabi is a more average track. So Max has his chances, but the problem is getting Norris to finish 4th. That seems quite difficult to me. Andrea Serra said they won't do internal team games. Both drivers will have the chance to win the title, but a swap of positions could happen during the race, and we shouldn't be scandalized because McLaren could do it. If you have 2 drivers very close, or maybe change the strategy between the 2 drivers at the start of the race to get Norris ahead of Piastri. But this, we'll see. These are a bit of speculations. Beware of Ferrari and Mercedes, who could get involved in the title fight in favor of Max Verstappen in this case. I want to talk, of course, about the announcement of the MR26. So the Aston Martin 2026, which will be unveiled on February 9th, 2026, so much further ahead. We know the Red Bull will be unveiled on January 14th, and we know that at the end of January, there are the tests in Barcelona. Speaking of McLaren, we obviously have to see this news that McLaren has announced the entry of 3 new drivers in the development program for young talents, including the new Formula 2 champion Leonardo Fornaroli. So a round of applause also for Leonardo for winning the Formula 2 title and now entering this program for young talents at McLaren. We'll see a bit how it goes for the next seasons as well. Many were saying that Fornaroli would immediately enter Formula 1 in 2026. It seems not, but we'll see if perhaps there's room for a team that can sign him for the next season. He will probably debut in 2027, much more likely, but we'll see. Having said that, I still express solidarity for Kimi Antonelli for what happened. I also wrote to him privately. He also replied to me, and maximum solidarity for what happened to Kimi and for the situation that obviously has arisen. And in my opinion, there should be a repercussion for Helmut Marko because he is accused of voluntarily letting go Norris pass, which is not true. In my opinion, these are strong words, too accusatory of Helmut Marko, and it's incredible that Fiat has only made a statement saying it stands for, obviously, inclusion and respect among drivers and various people within the teams. But something more was needed. I expected a stronger position from Fiat. He's a kid living his dream. Why do you have to turn it into a nightmare for him? Why don't you know how to behave in the world? What do you gain by sending hate messages? Even threats? It's just a sport. For God's sake, it's really not worth it. And on this, I absolutely agree. I really feel sorry for the situation he's going through. Full support to Kimi. Having said that, guys, I obviously remind you to leave a like, subscribe, and activate notifications so you don't miss any videos on the channel. We cover all news related to Formula 1 and Ferrari. That's all from Rastro here. See you in the next video.